How's it going, everyone? Austin Honecker here. I just want to come on here for a while and give them a review for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite from last night, which was February 2nd, 2022. I gotta say, it was awesome from start to finish. For the matches, match 1, it was Jon Moxley versus Wheeler Yuda. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Jon Moxley went over with the paradigm shift. Well, after the match, as Jon Moxley was celebrating his victory, Bryan Danielson came into the ring with a microphone and cut a promo, and Bryan Danielson was saying, "Do you all want to see Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson fight?" Then Bryan Danielson says, "Well, you know, at first, I did want to fight Jon Moxley. Because Jon Moxley, the reason I wanted to fight you there at first is because you're different. And I seen something in you. But now, I don't want to fight you. I want you to be a team with me. Because think about it, Mox. You and I as a team, we could be unstoppable. And you could be AEW champion, you could be AEW TNT champion, or hell, you and I can be the AEW tag team champions. But not only that, Mox, but we could take the younger guys under our wings. And, you know, guys like Wheeler Yuda, we could take him under our wing and get him away from those jokes, Orange Cassidy and Danhausen. Or we could even take Daniel Garcia under our wing and get him away from 2.0, which are Matt Lee and Jeff Parker. Or we could take Lee Moriarty under our wings and get him away from Dante Martin and Matt Sydal with their high-flying bullcrap. And you know, I don't see how a cowboy millennial such as Hangman Adam Page can be AEW champion. I don't see how a man dressed up like a dinosaur such as Luchasaurus could be one half of the AEW tag team champions. And I don't see how a vlog star such as Sammy Guevara could be AEW TNT champ. So, think about it long and hard, Mox, and get back to me ASAP. And then Bryan Danielson left the ring, and then Jon Moxley was still standing in the ring and everything. Now, originally, it was supposed to be Jon Moxley versus Brian Kendrick. But Tony Khan, the president and owner of AEW, pulled Brian Kendrick from the show because of some comments Brian Kendrick made about 9/11 and the Sandy Hook shootings years ago. So Tony Khan switched it up and put had Wheeler Yuda replace Brian Kendrick in that match with Jon Moxley. But it was cool nonetheless. But, you know, shit happens, you know, but, you know, the match turned out great nonetheless, even though it wasn't Brian Kendrick, it was Wheeler Yuda, but still turned out great. Okay? Match 2, it was the House of Black, which are Malachi Black and Brody King versus the Death Triangle, which are Pac and Penta El Cerro Miedo. That was a great match, but the ending to it, the House of Black went over because Brody King pinned Penta El Cerro Miedo with the Dante's Inferno from Malachi Black and Brody King. That was match 2, by the way. Match 3, it was Nyla Rose versus Ruby Soho That was a great match, but the ending to it, Nyla Rose went over with the Beast Bomb, and that was match 3, by the way. And match 4, which was the main event, it was MJF versus CM Punk. That was a great match, but the ending to it, MJF went over with a punch in the face with the diamond ring. Now, originally, MJF went over during the match, earlier in the match, because he had athletic tape and choked CM Punk with it and put him in the sleeper hold and made him pass out. But then after the match was over, the referee raised MJF's hand in victory and then saw the athletic tape. So the referee instructed Justin Roberts, who is the ring announcer, to restart the match. So Justin Roberts restarted the match, and then the ending to the match, Wardlow came out and distracted CM Punk and handed MJF the diamond ring, and then as soon as CM Punk and MJF got back in the ring and fought a little bit, Wardlow had the referee distracted, and CM Punk turned around, and MJF punched CM Punk in the face with the diamond ring and got the victory. That was a great match, by the way, and the ending turned out perfect. Now, besides the matches, AEW aired a video package of the build-up of the feud between CM Punk versus MJF. That was cool. Trying to think. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. Brandy Rhodes was out in the ring and was getting ready to cut a promo, and Dan Lambert and Brandy Rhodes was out in the ring getting ready to cut a promo. Well, Brandy Rhodes was out in the ring with a microphone getting ready to cut a promo. Well, before she even got the chance to talk, Dan Lambert and Men of the Year, which are Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page, came out and to the ring, and Dan Lambert had a microphone and cut a promo talking about how Brandy Rhodes has a massive ego, and how the chief brand officer how she thinks the chief brand officer thing means anything, and it talks about how it doesn't mean nothing, and talked about how Brandy Rhodes can pretend that Cody Rhodes earned his spot in the company when all he did was kiss Tony Khan's ass and everything. And then Dan Lambert was talking about, and then Brandy Rhodes was talking about Dan Lambert, how he's a 5-time champion with his gym of the American Top Tits or Top Team, and Brandy Rhodes was also, well, Ethan Page was laughing about it, and Brandy Rhodes said, "What are you laughing at, Ethan? Because the only reason we hired you is to get to Josh Alexander." And then Brandy Rhodes continued to talk more shit towards Dan Lambert, and then Dan Lambert was saying, "You know, the only reason the Rhodes family don't turn heel is because because you all have massive egos and don't want to turn heel because of your massive egos and your political bullshit. And Dan Lambert was also saying that, and it's quite sad, Brandy, that it's quite sad, Brandy, that you are getting booed worse than a man who is a conservative, who is sexist, and who is old and hates AEW like me. It's quite sad, Brandy. And so Dan Lambert and Brandy Rhodes continue to go back and forth in their talking shit, and then Brandy Rhodes slapped Dan Lambert in the face, and then Dan Lambert was saying, "You know, Brandy, I'm not the only one that wants to smack the shit out of you. There's somebody else I know that wants to knock the shit out of you." And then Paige Van Zant came out and Paige Van Zant got in the ring, and as soon as Paige Van Zant got in the ring, Brandy Rhodes and Paige Van Zant were brawling and beating the shit out of each other. And as the brawl was going on, all the referees and the women's locker room came out and broke it up and everything. That was cool. Let me see. The Andrade Hardy family office, which are Matt Hardy, Mark Quinn, Isaiah Cassidy, the Blade, and the Bunny, cut a promo, and Matt Hardy was talking about how he was disappointed and furious with Private Party, which are Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy, because they came up short. They came up short against the Jurassic Express, which are Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, on AEW Rampage last Friday and didn't win the AEW Tag Team titles and everything. And then Matt Hardy, then as Matt Hardy was getting ready to continue to talk, Andrade El Idolo and Jose came along, and Matt Hardy and Andrade El Idolo shook hands, and then Matt Hardy gave a proposition to Isaiah Cassidy to challenge Sammy Guevara for the AEW TNT title on AEW Rampage Friday night. Well, Mark Quinn offered to challenge Sammy Guevara for the AEW TNT title on AEW Rampage, but Matt Hardy said to Mark Quinn, Matt Hardy said, "No, Mark, you're not challenging Sammy Guevara for the AEW TNT title because you are the one that got pinned on Rampage, so you're out. So you're not in the match." And then Andrade El Idolo was saying, "Now don't make a mistake, Isaiah." And Isaiah Cassidy said, "Andrade, I'm not going to make a mistake. I'm going to beat Sammy Guevara, and not only am I going to beat him, but I'm going to take his AEW TNT title, and I'm going to take away his girl as well." And then Matt Hardy was saying, Matt Hardy asked Andrade El Idolo, Matt Hardy said, "Andrade, why is Darby Allin not in the AHFO yet?" Andrade El Idolo said, "Matt, the reason Darby Allin is not in the AHFO yet is because it could be a money situation. because money talks. Then Andrade El Idolo and Jose left, and then Matt Hardy grabbed a hold of Isaiah Cassidy, and Matt Hardy said, Isaiah, don't let me down. On Rampage, go out there, kick Sammy Guevara's ass, and win the AEW TNT title and everything. That was cool. Adam Cole cut a promo, and Adam Cole was saying, you know, I've been hearing from everybody, including the fans, that I lost to Orange Cassidy last week at Beach Break in the Lights Out match. Newsflash, I didn't. That victory from Orange Cassidy, that loss to Orange Cassidy was a fluke. And you all know it. And because it doesn't count. Because it was lights out, it doesn't count on the records. So technically, I'm still undefeated. But enough with that bullshit, because Friday night on Rampage, I'm going to be facing Evil Uno, and I'm going to kick Evil Uno's ass and everything. That was cool. The Gun Club, which are Billy, Austin, and Colton Gunn, were backstage and confronted Jungle Boy, and the Gun Club were making fun of Jungle Boy and making Jungle Book jokes and everything, and then Jungle Boy got pissed off and attacked Austin Gunn and was getting ready to attack Billy Gunn, but Billy Gunn kicked Jungle Boy in the stomach, and then Billy, Austin, and Colton Gunn of the Gun Club all ganged up on Jungle Boy and was beating the shit out of him, and Billy Gunn threw Jungle Boy outside of the arena and threw him into the snow. Well, as Austin and Colton Gunn were beating the shit out of Jungle Boy, Billy Gunn threw Jungle Boy into the snow, and they were getting ready to do more damage. And as the Gun Club were getting ready to do more damage to Jungle Boy after throwing him in the snow, Christian Cage and Luchasaurus came along and to the aid of Jungle Boy, and the Gun Club, which are Billy, Austin, and Colton Gunn, retreated. And as the Gun Club retreated, Christian Cage and Luchasaurus were tending to Jungle Boy and everything. That was cool. Tony Schiavone interviewed Hangman Page, and Tony Schiavone brought up that Hangman Page will defend the AEW title in a Texas death match against Lance Archer next week and everything. And then Hangman Page was talking about how he's been champion for 81 days, how he's been AEW champion for 81 days, and how he's only defended the title against one person, and that was Bryan Danielson. And Hangman Page was talking about how he's been waiting because he has a family to feed. You know, he has a wife at home, has a baby at home, and he's been waiting for opportunities and wanting challenges and everything. And then Hangman Page was talking about how he was going to kick Lance Archer's ass next week in the Texas Death Match, and talked about how he didn't want to wait till next week. He wanted to do it now. And then Hangman Page called out Lance Archer, and as Hangman Page called Lance Archer out, Jake the Snake Roberts and Dan Lambert came out with microphones, and Dan Lambert was talking about how Hangman Page, how he was surprised that Hangman Page didn't didn't get stuck in Cleveland, Ohio last week, and how he'll get stuck in how he may get stuck in Chicago, Illinois tonight, and Dan Lambert was going on talking shit about Hangman Page and everything, and then Jake the Snake, and then Hangman Page was talking about how he wanted to hit Dan Lambert in the face and beat the shit out of him and everything, and then after Hangman Page said that to Dan Lambert, Jake the Snake Roberts said, "Shut up, little boy," and Jake the Snake Roberts was saying, "Dan, look at him, look at Hangman Adam Page, look at Hangman Adam Page in the ring. He's sweating. That's all that sweat, and all that sweat is fear, and it's all fear, because Hangman Adam Page, that goes to show you that you're afraid of Lance Archer." And then Lance Archer came out and grabbed the microphone out of Dan Lambert's hand, and Lance Archer said, "Screw next week. Hangman Adam Page, how about we fight tonight?" And then Lance Archer dropped the microphone, and then Lance Archer was heading down to the ring, and Hangman Page attacked Lance Archer with the suicide dive, and Hangman Page was beating the shit out of Lance Archer, and as Hangman Page was beating the shit out of Lance Archer, Dan Lambert attacked Hangman Page from behind with a steel chair, and Hangman Page turned around and grabbed Dan Lambert, and Hangman Page threw Dan Lambert in the ring, and Hangman Page was getting ready to head into the ring, but Lance Archer attacked Hangman Page from behind with a steel chair, and then Lance Archer attacked Hangman Page with the choke slam on the steel steps, and then Lance Archer attacked Hangman Page with the blackout through a table. And as that was going on, as Lance Archer was beating the shit out of Hangman Page, Jake the Snake Roberts was standing there looking on with a smile on his face and everything. And then Lance Archer got on the microphone and was saying, "Hangman Adam Page, next week I'm going to kick your ass, and I'm going to take the AEW and I'm going to win. I'm going to take the AEW title away from you as well," and everything. That was cool. Chris Jericho cut a promo talking about how Santana and Ortiz disrespected him last week by not tagging him in, and talked about how Eddie Kingston has been in their head because they've known Eddie Kingston since they started in the business, and talked about how Chris Jericho himself has known Santana and Ortiz since AEW started, and Chris Jericho talked about how he was the top guy in AEW and everything, and Chris Jericho was also saying that next week the Inner Circle are going to have a town meeting. So Santana and Ortiz, you better be there, because next week the Inner Circle town meeting, it's mandatory and everything. That was cool. And not only all that, but AEW showed footage of CM Punk and MJF. Yeah, AEW showed footage of CM Punk and MJF training and preparing for their match, which that was cool. and AEW aired a video package of the confrontation between Ricky Starks and Jay Lethal from a couple to a few weeks ago, or about a month ago, on AEW Rampage. That was cool. Now, besides all that, Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur done commentary throughout the whole show. They done awesome as usual. The referees for the event were Rick Knox, Paul Turner, Bryce Remsburg, and Aubrey Edwards. Okay. Paul Turner refereed the match between Jon Moxley versus Wheeler Yuda. Rick Knox. Wait a minute. The referees for the event were Rick Knox, Paul Turner, Bryce Remsburg, and Aubrey Edwards. Paul Turner refereed the match between Jon Moxley versus Wheeler Yuda. Rick Knox refereed the match between the House of Black versus the Death Triangle. Aubrey Edwards refereed the match between Nyla Rose versus Ruby Soho. And Bryce Remsburg refereed the match between MJF versus CM Punk. All the referees done awesome as usual. Now the match card that's been announced for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite next week, that's been announced so far, it's going to be Hangman Page versus Lance Archer in a Texas death match for the AEW title, and the Inner Circle, which are Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, Sammy Guevara, Santana, and Ortiz, will be having a town meeting. So the match card for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite next week looks like it's going to be awesome. Can't wait to see it, and I'm looking forward to it. And the match card for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Rampage tomorrow night, which that was AEW Dynamite that I was just discussing about the match card. But the match card for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Rampage tomorrow night, it's going to be Sammy Guevara versus Isaiah Cassidy for the AEW TNT title, Ricky Starks versus Jay Lethal for the FTW title, Adam Cole versus Evil Uno, and Thunder Rosa versus Mercedes Martinez. Those are the matches that have been announced so far. So the match card for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Rampage tomorrow night looks like it's going to be awesome. Can't wait to see it. I'm looking forward to it. But anyway, I just wanted to come on here for a while and give them a review for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite from last night, which was February 2nd, 2022. Like I said, it was awesome from start to finish. And with that being said, my name is Austin Honecker, and I will catch your ass down the road. Peace out.